It's getting worse and worse for Donald Trump now that Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested for child sex trafficking. I told you before, and I reminded you yesterday, that a woman has alleged that when she was 13 years old, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein raped her at Epstein's New York City condo. The lawsuit was ultimately stopped by the accuser after she allegedly received death threats because she had come forward. Now, Donald Trump has been going very much out of his way to distance himself from Jeffrey Epstein as much as possible, despite having hung out with him a lot in years past. And he even threw out somebody at his rally in Minnesota over the weekend for holding up a picture of Trump with his arm around Jeffrey Epstein. I talked about that yesterday. There's now a stunning report in the New York Times, which includes the story of a 1992 party at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida, where the only attendees were Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and, quote, 28 girls for some kind of supposed calendar girl competition. Now, why am I calling them girls and not women? Because that's the word that the organizer used to describe this event. His name is George Horaney. He's a Florida businessman who ran American Dream Enterprise, and he organized this party for Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, saying to the New York Times, quote, "I arranged to have some contestants fly in. At the very first party, I said, 'Who's coming tonight?' I have 28 girls coming. It was him and Epstein. I said, 'Donald, this is supposed to be a party with VIPs. You're telling me it's you and Epstein?' And I want to be really, really careful here to make clear what I am telling you and what I am not telling you, or what it is that the New York Times is reporting and what it is not that they're reporting." There is no indication that any of these 28 women were underage, as far as what we know right now. Okay. This is evidence that Donald Trump was truly friends with Epstein, liked hanging out with him, was hanging out with him. And in this case, it was just him, Epstein, and 28 hired women or girls, as they are described by George Horaney. So the big picture is very clear. The party was in 1992. This is around the same time that the Doe versus Trump incident allegedly happened, where Trump was accused of raping the 13-year-old girl. I got some emails yesterday from people saying, "David, I'm glad you brought this back up." But I also got a few emails yesterday saying, "David, why are you repeating these unsubstantiated conspiracy theories against Trump?" Hold on a second. There are rape allegations. The lawsuit was pulled over death threats. Trump is accused of sexually assaulting more than 15 women. He's accused of hanging out with Epstein and young women. Trump's wife said that Trump raped her multiple times. What is so out of line here about the fact that we have court documents and deposition testimony from the accuser of Donald Trump claiming she was 13 years old when Donald Trump raped her? Are you saying that because there was no conviction in the Trump child rape, there is no reason to think anything happened? That seems like an extreme position to take. Incredibly, there are tons and tons of people who just have no idea about the sworn allegations against Donald Trump. But we have sworn statements from the woman who was 13 at the time. That has not changed. We are linking to her deposition video where her face is blurred in the source links for the YouTube video for this segment. If you want to take a look at it, if you're listening on the radio or the podcast or watching on TV, if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The David Pakman Show, find the video clip for this story. In the description, we are linking to the testimony of the accuser. Take a look at it and tell me that it's not credible. So things not going particularly well for Donald Trump. And we will see what continues to come of this. And Donald Trump very clearly worried about it. Donald Trump going out of his way to talk about how he just barely has any idea who Epstein is. He gave a very strange Oval Office question and answer session yesterday where he's just going way too far. He's going way too far given what we know and what's on record about his relationship with Epstein. Let me know what you think is going to come of this. And of course, if history is an indicator, the last 2.5 years are an indicator, it is unlikely that there will ever actually be any consequences that involve Trump here, because that seems to be the name of the game. Teflon Don, originally, I can't believe the mobster. I always forget who it is that Teflon Don was originally the nickname for, and I feel so stupid when people email me. But anyway, can also be applied to Donald Trump. Send me your thoughts. I'm on Twitter @DPakman. The show is on Twitter @David Pakman Show. Hope you'll follow me there. Today's sponsor is Skillshare, and I'm excited to tell you that everybody in our audience is getting 2 entire months of free access to Skillshare when you click the link underneath this video. Skillshare is the site that offers over 25,000 online courses on almost any topic you can imagine: cooking, meditation, photography, video editing, Photoshop, managing a small business, almost an endless list. And whether you're trying to get ahead in your career, maybe you want to learn new skills that will make you better at your job, you might just be exploring a new hobby and you're trying to find new ways to be creative in your personal time, Skillshare's the perfect place to fully immerse yourself in whatever you're trying to learn. I really enjoyed the class on more advanced video editing techniques because it's something I've been wanting to improve at, but have been very busy hosting The David Pakman Show for the last few years. Once again, The David Pakman Show is giving you 2 whole months of access to every single class offered by Skillshare. After those 2 months, if you want to keep your subscription, Skillshare's super affordable at less than $10 a month. Get better at whatever it is that you're passionate about, or discover something brand new that you didn't even know that you would love, and join Skillshare's other 7 million users by clicking the link underneath this video.